Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will be dealing with a very unique concept that is only there in the Hindu family laws, that is Hindu joint family. First of all, if you all have yet not subscribed to my channel, then do so that to get a current update of any of the videos, and please do like my channel. Okay, now Hindu joint family. See, basically in this video we would be dealing with certain concepts with regard to Hindu joint family, that is general background. Then we would be coming up with the composition of Hindu joint family, who can constitute a Hindu joint family, what all are the cases, incidents of Hindu joint family property. Then we would be coming up with the very similar term, that is HJF, and then we will be dealing that whether HJF and HUF are similar or it's different. Okay, and then at last we will be dealing with rights of the members of Hindu joint family. Okay, so yeah, now starting up with the general background. If we see all the religions that are there in our country, basic assumption, कोई भी religion ऐसी नहीं है जहाँ पे हिंदू जहाँ पे joint family का concept as a legal it had been recognized. It's only the Hindu joint family that is being recognized under Hindu Succession Act. This doesn't mean that there is no any division in other religion. It simply means that their divisions are not legally recognized in their laws. The concept of Hindu joint family can be traced from ancient system of patriarchal, where the Kaita was considered to be the head of the family and was given the undoubted powers with him. Kaita used to have an undoubted powers and used to make the decisions with regard to any matters in their family. Now moving ahead with the presumption, there is basic one presumption that everyone keeps in mind when the term Hindu joint family comes into a picture. One basic presumption is that until and unless contrary proves, Hindu joint family is considered to be a joint family. Simply मतलब ये है कि Hindu joint family, if the term is used, हम उस family को ऐसा मानेंगे कि वो joint family है until and unless हम कोई contrary उसके against evidence या proof ना दे सके. There was a very famous case named Commissioner of Income Tax versus Gomedali Lakshmi Narayan. इस केस में भी कोर्ट ने सिंपली यही कहा था, every Hindu family is presumed to be joint family until and unless contrary proves. I hope the background portion is pretty clear. Then now moving ahead with the composition of the Hindu joint family. There are basic 5 composition that we could say under Hindu joint family property. If you guys want to write, you may have a note of that. It would be a kind of note that you could prepare, so no issues with that. The first composition that we could see under Hindu joint family is all members descendant lineally from a common male ancestor together with their mothers, wives or widows and unmarried daughter. The very simple meaning of this statement is सारे male members के descendants उनके साथ उनकी mother, wife, widow and unmarried daughters ये सारे include होंगे. That is one composition. Second, if we see prior 2005 की अगर हम बात करें तो unmarried daughters जो थी, they were considered to be a member of the family, and once they get married they were excluded from the member of his father's family and were added to his husband's family. But now post 2005 the status has been completely changed. Daughter, whether she is married or unmarried, that means whatever is the status of her in her life, that is immaterial, and she would be considered to be the member of the joint Hindu family property. Now moving ahead with the fourth point, illegitimate son of a male descendant. Male descendant means if the illegitimate son is from the father, okay, then he would be considered to be the part of the Hindu joint family. But if the illegitimate son is from the female descendant, then he won't be considered to be a part. For example, अगर हम देखें, taking a simple example of one chain I'll be starting up with. The topmost, if we say the topmost person, let it be a grandfather. Then there comes father, uncle, and one sister of father. Okay, there would be upper, it would be grandfather, then 2 male member and 1 female member in the second chain. And then downward, if we come, we could have one son, illegitimate son of the father, and 1 illegitimate son of the female member who is there. Okay, then in that case, the illegitimate son of the father, that is A, would be considered to be the member of the joint family. But where the terms come of the aunt, that is C, and her child, whether her child being the illegitimate, won't be taken into consideration and won't be the member of the family. That means for a member to be considered in the context of illegitimate, there has to be both side male in terms of the father and in terms of the son. Okay, and then at the last, child in the womb is not considered to be the member of HJF. For anyone to be constituted as the member of HJF, that person is supposed to be alive. It is supposed to be a living being, and that too born. It should not be there that the child is in the mother's womb. Now moving ahead, the common ancestor is necessary for bringing a joint family into existence. For its continuance, common ancestor is not necessity. That means कोई भी joint family को लाने के लिए, that is basic point, that there should be a common ancestor. Then only the joint family could be constituted. The example which we have seen, grandfather and then 3 child of the grandfather. Then if we see the second chain, उन तीनों persons के, that is A, B and C, उनके common ancestor is the grandfather only. That is the upper one who is starting the chain. Okay, but for the continuance, there is no any requirement of common ancestor. That means if the first person dies, still there would be the continuance of Hindu joint family. The death of common ancestor does not mean that the joint family comes to an end. Rights of members of Hindu joint family are not same. Now, if we see the rights that are given to the Hindu joint family members, it's not same for everyone. Hindu joint family में there is a concept known as co-parsonary. Co-parsonaries are those who would be coming up to the chain of 3 chains. Okay, like grandfather plus 3 chains. More we would be dealing about co-parsonaries in the next video. So just understand the term that is co-parsonary. Co-parsonary, the one who would be the co-parsonary has the more and extra rights, like they have the right to ask for partition. If we see all the, it might be that the chain is running out and there are joint family is running out and there are 4 to 5 chains, like generations are there. Okay, but co-parsonary won't be all. Members could be anyone. We have seen the composition, but co-parsonary would be only up to the 3rd generation. Okay, so yeah, co-parsonary has certain extra rights in comparison to the other members. So more about the co-parsonary we will be dealing with in the other videos. And now moving ahead with certain questions that you might be having. That means, can a single male or female constitute a Hindu joint family? Okay, that means क्या कोई एक person, whether it's male or female, that's irrelevant, क्या कोई एक person constitute कर सकता है Hindu joint family? So for this, the answer would be no, because for the Hindu joint family to come into existence, essentially there is the requirement of 2 members. This is written in the law, and even there is a very famous case, CIT versus Gomadali Lakshmi Narayan, जिसमें ये बात कही गई है. Okay, it is not mandate that both should be male. दोनों मेल हो वो ज़रूरी नहीं है. But for the continuation, there is no such requirement. Okay, there must be one common male ancestor. And what had been stated in CIT versus Gomadali Lakshmi Narayan is, आप चाहो तो you may note it now. The court in this case stated that there must be 2 members to constitute the HJF, but both of them has to be male is not mandate. Thus, in this case, it was held that income derived would be taken as the income of HJF and not his individual income. That means, okay, second point was not relevant for now. Okay, so we'll be sticking up towards the first sentence only. कि continuation के लिए कितने members भी हो, that's not important. Constitute करने के लिए there has to be minimum of 2 members. Okay. Then the other question that I have stated that we would be dealing up is whether HJF and HUF are same or not. See, if we try to divide this term, HJF means Hindu joint family and HUF is Hindu undivided family. Basically, if we see up to the root of this term, दोनों टर्म्स के मतलब वही है. दोनों टर्म्स से एक ही चीज हमें समझ आ रही है, दैट देयर इज अ जॉइंट फैमिली एंड वी आर टॉकिंग इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ हिंदू. Okay, but why then there are two different terms? Okay, that is the major question now. So the two terms, that is HJF and HUF, are similar. Just the difference is in the term HJF is used in Hindu personal law. HJF जो है वो हमने हिंदू पर्सनल लॉज, दैट इज हिंदू सक्सेशन एक्ट में यूज किया है, वेयर एज जो HUF टर्म है वो हमने इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में यूज किया है फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग द टैक्स. So in general, if we see HJF and HUF are similar, there is no any point of difference in the meaning of their terms. Okay, but yeah, if the question comes like what is the difference between HJF and HUF and whether it's a different or not, then yeah, it would be like ki both the term, that is HJF and HUF, are similar. Only the difference is there in terms of its usage. HJF is used in the Hindu personal law, whereas HUF is used in the Income Tax Act for the purpose of calculation of tax. I hope I have made myself very clear, and soon there would be a launch of the other video, and hope I would be coming up with the concept of co-partnering. And yeah, okay, if there is any doubt or any clarity required, then do mention that in the chat box. And yeah, okay, bye bye. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will be dealing with a very unique concept that is only there in the Hindu family laws, that is Hindu joint family. First of all, if you all have yet not subscribed to my channel, then do